Dr. Sukumar's awards came after 2 decades of research on Asian elephants. He grew up amidst the sylvan surroundings of Adyar at Chennai in southern India. He first began thinking of wildlife conservation during his high school days, a sudden shift from an early interest in aeroplanes and rockets. But much before he really began to frequent the jungles, his grandmother would call him Vanavasi, a Tamil word for someone who lives in the forest. In 1979, he moved to Bangalore to work on a doctorate at the Indian Institute of Science. It is here that he chose elephants as his research subject and went on to study the complex interactions between wild elephants and people, the first time that a scientist had done so anywhere. Since then, he has continued to be interested in the elephant and its conflict with people, and in finding ways for coexistence and reducing conflict between humans and elephants. The Duars in the plains below the eastern Himalayas is a patchwork of forests, rice cultivation, and tea plantations. Elephants are isolated in shrunken forest patches and often venture out to raid rice fields for food, moving through tea plantations and human habitation. There are 2 sides to elephant-human conflict. On the one hand, the elephant's habitat across the North Bengal landscape is highly fragmented. As the elephants move from one forest patch to another, they have to pass through tea gardens and cultivation. At night, tea garden laborers sometimes get killed or injured by elephants, and farmers trying to chase the elephants away from the paddy fields also suffer in the process. But there is another side to conflict, and that has to do with the fact that the cultivated crops here, like paddy and maize, are much tastier to the elephants than the wild grasses and actually provide more nutrition for the elephants. Sukumar's studies have shown that cultivated crops like paddy and maize have higher levels of protein and minerals like calcium and sodium. Thus, some elephants in the population would continue to raid crops even if they had sufficient forage in the wild.
It is now realized that elephant-human conflict is a very important conservation issue that has to be resolved if we are to conserve elephants in the long term and protect the interests of local farmers who suffer because of elephants. Northern Bengal experiences one of the highest levels of elephant-human conflict. Each year, at least 50 people are killed by this population of about 500 elephants. And therefore, it's extremely important that we try and minimize conflict in this region.
The West Bengal Forest Department is hard-pressed when the paddy is ripening and ready for harvest. This is when the conflict between elephants and farmers reaches its peak. Squads have been set up by the Forest Department at key locations to patrol sensitive areas at night. It is at night that the elephants venture out into fields, drawn by the fragrance of ripening maize and paddy. Not satisfied by chasing elephants with firecrackers and lights, the villagers sometimes retaliate with weapons like this bow and arrow. When an elephant or a group of elephants is spotted amidst human habitation, the squad rushes to the spot and drives them back to the jungle. The squads not only protect elephants from irate villagers, but also calm agitated people. All this goes into forging a relationship with local communities that is less hostile towards protected areas and wildlife.
The idea of using these squads is very innovative, and I think the squads are actually doing an excellent job of trying to contain conflict. I think but for the squads, the levels of conflict would actually be much greater than what they are today. Because I know that during the 1980s, when the squads were not there, you had instances of, levels of conflict were actually pretty high in northern Bengal. And since the squads have started operating, you don't really hear of instances of very large herds of elephants coming out and smashing labor lines and, ravaging, tens of hectares of paddy crop and so on. Therefore, I think the squads are very effective. It's just that they have to be better empowered, they have to be better equipped in order to deal with conflict. I think the use of technology, to the extent possible, would strengthen their hands in trying to contain the elephants here.
Sukumar and his team began collaring elephants in 2001, and by 2010 had collared 14 elephants. Initially, VHF radio collars were used, and while they yielded good data, they had their limitations. On average, the tracking team was able to get locations of collared animals only once a week. The females yielded very detailed information about their home range size and movement patterns. But 2 of the bulls removed their collars within 3 months, and as a result yielded very limited data. One bull, a Makhna or tuskless male, could not be traced at all. But later, in 2004, an injured tusker was collared and did yield good data. Home range size of elephants varied considerably depending on the area. Female elephant ranges varied from 300 square kilometers to as much as 800 square kilometers. It is a challenging environment to work in, and the team needs the assistance of trained Forest Department elephants and staff. It is essential that the darted animal is followed closely and located as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's gone down. Yeah, the animal has gone down. Yeah. He's gone in lateral, so it's fine. He's gone in lateral.
The collaring team goes to work fitting the collar as rapidly as possible. In 2005, Sukumar and his team switched to Global Positioning System or GPS radio collars. The new technology would now provide the means to keep track of elephants in near real time. The GPS collars gave 3 locations of the elephant every day. This information would be sent to Sukumar through a satellite link, downloaded and decoded, plotted on a map, and then sent to forest officials in North Bengal.
Pull the wire. Yeah, pull. Below, 1 minute. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's okay. Yeah.
Now okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Right.
See which right in the center.
This meant that researchers could warn wildlife managers if any of the habitual crop raiders was nearing habitation.
Okay. Just make sure both sides are equal. Huh?
This in turn would enable wildlife managers to warn field staff, who could then take action to head off possible conflict.
Tide needed, sir?
No, that's what I said. You wait, you know.
The antidote is prepared to reverse the effect of the immobilizing drug.
Bhaskar, you tie. That's what I'm saying. Remove this first.
Plus 44.
People start moving back. Those who have finished their work, please start going back to the road.
All the team members have to move away as soon as the antidote is administered, as it takes effect very fast and the animal is up on its feet within minutes.
Hello, come. Hello, Mukti. Why you are standing? Ask that person to go this side. Leg movement. 4 leg movement. Head raise. Trying to get up.
The first GPS collar on an elephant has been deployed in India
Name.
Is it okay, sir?
at 12:10 p.m. Subrato, congrats.
Thank you, sir.
What is that?
I am grateful to God.
Name of the elephant.
Congrats the entire group.
Congrats. I am grateful to God. The animal is safe.
Yeah,
And we are able to put the first GPS collar in India.
India.